Hello, it's Picken, CEO and founder of Migrate, and I want to bring you this weekly wealth insight. I'm doing some amazing coaching at the moment. You know how I feel about coaching, and I'm basically working directly with Hilda Lunderstedt, and she's given me Jack Welch. Now, Jack Welch was the most successful leader, the most successful CEO of the 20th century. He basically was, they call him Neutron Jack. Basically in the early 1980s, he became the CEO of GE, General Electric. It turned into the most profitable company in the world. Like for 3 decades in a row, its share price rose, the most for 3 decades in a row. It was the darling of the New York Stock Exchange, pretty much for 30 years until he retired. And so a lot of people look at him as, one of the greatest corporate business leaders, and they look at him for examples and answers. And he's written lots of books, but there's a book that Hilda is making me go through all the exercises at the moment, and it's the 4 E's and the 1 P. So I thought I'd bring this as your wealth insight so that you can look at yourself as a leader, look at yourself as a business person, look at what you're achieving in the world. And in very simple terms, the 4 E's, the first one is energy. So how much energy do you have in the morning? Do you wake up? Are you excited? I mean, look at this. There's a magnificent sunrise this morning, a magnificent view. Are you energetic? Like, do you wake up and you're excited about the day? Maybe rate yourself out of 5 for that. Low, 1 being low and 5 being, you're really energetic. Number 2, do you energize others? When you get out of bed in the morning, not only do you energize yourself, but do you energize the people around you? Are you friendly? Are you happy? Do you inspire people? Do you get your work colleagues to go to the next level? One of my mission statements is to inspire people to actually do the impossible, to create the impossible. And do you inspire people? So give yourself a score, out of 5 on how you energize others. The third one is all about the edge. And that's about whether you can make the difficult decisions. Most people in life, I've read so many books recently, and again, Think and Grow Rich, I've shared with you all. And one of the most important things of successful people and successful leaders is that they have the edge. They can make difficult decisions. They often take quite a long time to get all the information, but when they make a decision, they don't change their mind. They're prepared to make difficult decisions in life. And I think that's critically important. Again, when it comes to the edge, do you have the edge? Can you make critical decisions? And do you stick by them, basically? So score yourself out of 5. The fourth one is execution. Now, this is probably the one that I'm, the weakest on, because it's all great to have grand visions and grand dreams, but it's all about execution. When it comes to business, ideas are plenty. People always go, I don't want to tell you my idea, might steal it. That's absolute rubbish, because it's not about the idea, it's about the execution. And for me, I'm very good at executing as an individual, but one of my growth areas is to learn to create execution, more so within the team, so that we can be thriving as a globally winning team together. And that's just a learning for me. So again, score yourself when it comes to execution. Maybe execution for yourself. I'd give myself a 5 out of 5 for execution for myself. But when it comes to executing and being able to galvanize a team to execute, what would you give yourself there? So that's the 4 E's. And then you got the 1 P, and that's passion. Are you passionate about what you do in your life? Are you purposeful? Is there a bigger why? Simon Sinek talks about the why. If you're very clear on the why, then you can figure out the how and the what. In our case, we're purposeful. We want to empower 1 billion people. We want to make investing as simple as a swipe of a finger. We want to help the 99% to be able to invest like the top 1%. That's what gets us out of bed every morning. That's why I do these wealth insights, so we can inspire people. We can give them the knowledge, we can give them the self-belief, and then we can give them the tools so that they can execute and create the lives that they want, and ultimately live up to that purpose. So how passionate are you? Give yourself a score out of 5. And ultimately you can count it all up, and you should have a score out of 25. You can literally divide it, and you can get a percentage, and you can find out in your life, where you stand, on your 4 E's and 1 P scale. Now, the good news is that you can change things. If you're a 5 right now out of 25, well, then you need to look at your life, and you need to look at what's changing. And if you're a 95, then keep doing what you're doing. You're in a beautiful space. I'm going to bring you a Wealth Insight next week about another concept in terms of where you're at. But this is this week's Wealth Insight. It's about the 4 P's. It's about the 4 E's, the 1 P. It's about coaching. You know, Hilda Lunderstedt is making a significant difference for me, and that's why I always say 10x your time. It's why look at the inner circle below on how you can 10x your time so you can get more results. For those that are really interested to go, the really successful people, if you want to go to the next level, you should really look at the Global Wealth Mastermind with Hilda. And if you enjoyed this, like this video, like this channel, share it with your friends. I told you, we want to empower 1 billion people. I can't do it on my own. I need your help. So I hope you enjoyed this weekly Wealth Insight with this magnificent view. I hope you enjoyed my energy, if nothing else. And if nothing else, I hope after you watch this, it energizes you so that you can go and energize others. Let's solve grand challenges on the planet together. And the beautiful thing about being purposeful is that it equally can be profitable. Have a great week. Cheers.